Good morning, everybody. It is currently 7:54 on a Monday. I decided to film a weekly vlog this week to show you what my day-to-day looks like living alone. It's Monday. It's the first day. I just washed my face. I did a bit of lymphatic drainage exercise, and I'm ready to do my skincare. Just put my eye drops in. I started with this La Roche-Posay thermal spring water. I'm almost out, and I don't think I'm gonna be repurchasing this because I don't think it did anything to my hydration at all. I think it did a really nice job at stabilizing and calming my skin. I have this big ass breakout that needs to be calm. Put on a toner, more of an essence. This is the Skin 1004 Madagascar's like pink ampoule. This is pormizing, and I'm targeting my pores and minimizing them. As of lately, I've been using the retinol combo, which I'm gonna show you later in the week. But I think after a couple of months, I think 3 months of using the combo, like the retinol and then the azelaic acid combo, I feel like pores have minimized or have shrinked a teeny tiny bit, which I'm excited about, and I think this definitely helps. And it's also very, very moisturizing, and the goal in winter is to be moisturized, you know what I'm saying? And especially my skin, because at the beginning of winter, when it started getting so cold, we had a big snowstorm like pretty early in the season, which is very unexpected. My skin was so dry. Back then, I recently increased my frequency of using retinol. So instead of going like once per week, I upped it to like twice per week. And that, with the like very cold and dry weather, really messed my skin barrier up. So for a couple of weeks, I was just like purging and breaking out, especially around the mouth area. And also my skin was so itchy, so red. And then I had to use an allergies cream because my skin also was allergic to the weather, which I know sounds so weird, but I just broke out in like patches of rash all across the body. Like last year it was on my body, but this year it migrated up to my face and my neck area, and that was so freaking painful. So I had to take antibiotics, and I also had to like put on the allergies topical cream. And now for the final extra layer of moisturization, I'm gonna go in with this gel moisturizer. I'm not gonna go fully like over across my face. I feel like just targeting on the areas that I know will be super dry, like my eye area. My eye area after that allergy season became so dry, and also the mouth area because I put on retinol there. Welcome to the vlog. I completely forgot to. So welcome to you all. How are you feeling? We're almost out of winter break. I think 2 weeks from now, we're gonna go back to school, which I'm equally as excited as terrified to do so, because that means it's gonna be my last semester as a college student, like ever. And also, I don't wanna go back to school. You know what I'm saying? Like last semester was so rough, just on a physical and mental level, because I was going through so much. I was taking so many credits, and it's not even about the credit. It was about like, because I also was also doing research, and I had like 3 class on top of the 2 research projects I'm going. I didn't even know why I did that. I thought I was insane. I thought I could handle that. I mean, I did handle it. But at the end, I was so freaking like burnt out that this 6 weeks of like winter break really, really became, you know, life-saving, because without these 6 weeks of rest, although I did do some stuff like content creation wise, it's still like the majority of the time I was just laying there and doing nothing and reading, and that really, really felt nice. I also have like this breakout right there, which I don't know what's going on. Maybe I just shaved around that area, that's why. I mean, I'm glad that the next semester I'm only taking 1 class, but I still have the 2 research projects that I'm doing. So now that the skin is like plump and, you know, moisturized. It better be moisturized, you know, after that many layers of moisture. I'm gonna let this sink in for a couple of minutes, and then I'm gonna change because I'm gonna do my devotion next. I've been like waking up very early. Like by early, I mean like 7:30, 7:45, and then doing my devotion for like 30 minutes to 40 minutes, and then I'm gonna go cook breakfast. So that routine has been working well, and also because in the winter it's like pitch black outside at like 8 a.m., you know, for no reason. So waking up at 7:30 was so hard. The first couple of days I was struggling because my alarm says it's morning, but looking outside it's actually pitch black. Okay, I'm gonna go change, and then when I finish my devotion, we're gonna go make breakfast together. It's 8:30 now, and we're gonna make breakfast slash brunch because I don't eat lunch anymore. It's just that I'm trying to lose some fat and work on my physique. So we're only eating 2 meals a day as of now. But I made some beautiful, delicious bone broth and with some radish and carrots last night and yesterday, and it was amazing. So we're gonna heat it up with some vermicelli because I'm in the mood for something that's not rice, because I've been eating rice for the entire winter basically. So we're gonna do that. The entire point of doing this vlog is like trying to show you guys what it looks like to be living alone. And I know that especially during this season, like winter season, when everybody was like hang out with their family and, you know, holidays and being surrounded by people, sometimes being alone, or most of the time being alone, is not the norm. That doesn't mean that there aren't people out there who have to be alone. And this year, it's like actually a lot better because I'm kind of used to this like solitude. But the first year when I first got here, and then the second year even, it was a lot. It was very nostalgic, and it helps that this time around the Lunar New Year is not like in coincide with the winter breaks. It's like a lot later in the year, so I don't feel the nostalgia as much as compared to like 2 years ago, when it happened right when I'm like, you know, in the middle of break. We're gonna have some water, and then I'm gonna heat it up, and then I'm gonna put away the dishes. So, and also it's just like a very chill vlog. It's gonna be a lifestyle vlog. I'm like testing out different types of content I wanna make. I still wanna make sure that I prioritize book talk. I'm gonna move you here just because you cannot see me. But I feel like sometimes doing like some fun, cozy, lazy like lifestyle vlogs where I'm just like showing you what my day-to-day looks like can be very fun, and it also just forces me to be more creative with my content. That's what we're gonna doing for this week. The plans for today is pretty straightforward. I think I'm gonna go out and go to the gym to work out later in the afternoon because there's like this workout routine that I want to test out. It's like a full body workout dumbbell situation. So I want to try that out. And so we're gonna go out at like, I don't know, usually I work out at like 3. So we could go at 2:45. And I obviously have some work I want to do. I have a couple of TikToks I want to edit. And then I'm also in the middle of filming like a video where I'm reading like series I'm in the middle of. So let's see. Hopefully it's not gonna be too rocky. But I am in the middle of filming the video where I'm reading series I'm in the middle of. And so I also need to do a bit of that later tonight. I'm gonna put you there. What was I saying? I completely lost my train of thought. Yes, I need to film that because I lost the footage for the first initial impression. So I need to re-film that and also film an intro. I'm almost done with the video, like with the book. It's like a gigantic book. I'm not sure if I regret reading that book for this vlog or not. We're gonna do that today. And then I have a couple of emails I wanna be sending out. I was like thinking of like, should I apply to jobs today? I don't feel like it. I tried a different like a HIIT workout yesterday, and like I sore everywhere. I don't feel like moving, and just I want to rest. So we'll see how much we can do, but there's definitely some emails I want to be doing and working on, but jobs wise we're not sure. And then we're gonna start working on editing the video for this video, and I need to sit down and think about what I want to do for this video. I haven't done that because weekends are just for doing nothing. I'm gonna walk you through what my day-to-day looks like, what my week-to-week look like, and obviously not every week is gonna be the same. I want to show you what I made last night. So it's my first time. I don't know what it's called in English. It's like soup with carrots and radish. And then this is the meat. I used pork this time. Usually we would opt for like a bone-in like pork situation, but I don't have that. This is the pork. It's very tender. And then this is the bone broth. Hopefully when I hold it up, it's not gonna spill everywhere. I spent the entire day yesterday making this. But this is the bone broth, and this has like the pork obviously, but also some chicken bones that I kept from the other time when I was like making chicken. I'm gonna like boil some vermicelli because it takes a while for them to cook, and then we're gonna assemble. But yeah, I'm gonna put you on a time lapse now, or just like some clips. So I'm gonna see you when we're finished. Okay, I finished getting ready for the gym. Just need to tie back my hair a little bit. But I'm very excited. It's been a while since I went to the gym. It's been actually like more than a year, I think. But I'm super excited. So I will be bringing you along with me. I will be filming myself in the gym, but I'm not going to give some commentary. So I will not be bringing a mic with me, but I will show you what I do. Okay, let's go. Home after the gym. It was a good session. I sweat a lot. That was a hard one. It was both harder and also easier than I expected. The lower body workout killed me. So that was unexpected, but most of the like upper body workouts and the movements were easy, which makes sense because I've been doing like, you know, the Chloe Tang arm workout for the past couple of weeks, so it makes sense that those movements would feel more manageable to me. But then I haven't been doing like much lower body workouts, so that's why they're so hard. Also the like compound movements, those killed me, especially at the end when she made me do like burpees. It's been a while since I do one of those, and it was a good rush. Like, it was a good last minute stretch. But I was dying, and the final exercise was like double squats. But I'm ready. I'm gonna change out my shoes and then put on my slippers. And then we're gonna go out and read a little bit. I did read 60 pages or something before I went, but I still have like 30 or 40 more before I hit the page count of the day. I do want to finish the second book in the Priory Orange Tree series, so that's like A Day of Fallen Night. I do want to finish it today, so I was hoping that tonight I can read like 100 pages of that and that I'll be done. That means that I have to read up until page 750 like during the day, and I have like 40 pages left. So I'm gonna go do that, and we can talk when I'm about to make dinner, because I think I'm gonna be cooking up some cod today. And this is the first time that I've ever cooked cod ever. I've never cooked any fish besides salmon, and salmon I only know how to like pan fry it, nothing fancy. So I'm thinking of doing the same thing with this cod, but I'm excited. And then I'm gonna be also boiling some broccoli. I've been determined to cut down on the like seasoning, the amount of seasoning that I do. So cut down on salt, because I know that salt, if you eat a lot of salt, you know, the water will be retained and your face is gonna look a lot more puffy compared to if you cut down salt. Same thing with sugar, but we're cutting down salt first because I'm such a sweet tooth. I just cannot completely cut out like sugar. Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna check with you when I'm about to cook dinner and we can talk a little bit. This is my dinner. So I have rice and this is the cod, and I don't know why it's just like crumbling like that. I just pan fried it, but I don't think one fillet is enough, so I'm gonna have all of them just because. And then we have broccoli, boiled broccoli, no seasoning. And this is my girl dinner. It's Tuesday. I want to show you my drainage exercises, lymphatic drainage. And so first we're going to massage behind our ears like so. Make sure not to put too much pressure on the lymph nodes. And then same thing around your collarbones and also the hollow areas of your collarbones and neck area. Use your knuckles to massage gently at the base of your neck, and also dragging and kind of waking up at the base of your neck. And then kind of lightly tap between my eyebrows and my chin to wake up my skin. And then I form my hands like so, and then lightly pat on the different lymph nodes around the body. So the elbow, armpits, the neck, and behind our ears. And we do so on both sides, and then massaging our armpits just to further open the lymph nodes. And then using my gua sha, we're gonna first do some ear therapy, and this is something that I have seen online for the past couple of weeks. You make some circles and then you drag your gua sha up and down your ears like that, and then we're gonna snatch the jaw and the jawline, so doing like so a couple of times, and then dragging it down to your neck area like so. And this is just to once again drain the fluid and the excess water, so make sure you do the same thing on the other side as well. And then after that, what we're gonna use that little bigger bump, I don't know how to say that, and then massage around your nose area to wake up your nose, and also drag it up towards your eyebrow and releasing some of those tension, and then bring it all the way towards your temple. And then using that straight edge of the gua sha, we're gonna first hold on to the skin and then slightly drag it up towards the ear, from the mouth area up towards the ear, and then dragging it down after 10 or 15 times like so. And then do the same thing on the other side, and this is once again to snatch your face and kind of uplift your skin. I finish off with some horizontal movements across the forehead to prevent wrinkles. Okay, I just finished getting ready for a tour. I have a tour in like 15 minutes. I spent an hour just like working on my interview because I just got an email this morning and I passed the first round for one of the jobs that I applied to. So yay. So hopefully that's gonna go well on Friday. Like I said, I'm heading out for a tour. I'm like debating, should I go on a walk after the tour, because technically, you know, if I'm given a tour, I'm already walking. So we'll see. I think I might bring you with me. I'm not gonna show you anything around, just like some clips of, because it's a beautiful day outside, the sun's out and everything. I don't think it's also not too cold as well, so I'm very excited. But on that note, I finished A Day Full of Night last night, and that's the second book that's like a prequel to the Priority Orange Tree, and I think I gave the book like a 4.5 star. I'm still not sure on the ratings, maybe 4.25. And I officially started Anathema by Carrie Lake, and I will be filming like a mini vlog reading this book on my TikTok. So if you want to do that, want to go watch it, it should be up when this vlog is up. From the couple pages that I've read, it seems like a very complex world. She had like a dictionary at the beginning with like glossaries and like all the names of the gods, different like realms and maps, and just like all sorts of different magics. And so I'm very excited of, you know, to see what's going on in here. I was hoping that I could, like, if it's not too cold, then I could stay outside and we can chit chat a little bit, just so that we have some like nature scenery. So I might do that. I might bring the book with me to read there as well. So we'll see. But if it's like freaking cold outside, I'm not gonna do that. So okay, I'm gonna go now and I'll see you in a second. I cannot whip out my mic now, so hopefully you can hear me. But I just got done with the tour. It's actually freezing cold, so I think I'm gonna go back home. It's so cold. It's like it's so windy. I was like freezing for the entire tour, so I'm glad that's done. And I went to the office and they had like snacks out for the tour guides, and I grabbed a bunch of snacks. So, you know, we made it worth it, you know. So I'm gonna go back home. I think I'm gonna do a bit of reading of Anathema, and I want to also start editing the video. Oh, my hands are freezing cold and it's so red, but it's such a gloomy day outside today. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. I completely forgot to film what I was eating for dinner earlier, but I just fried some eggs and I put some tomatoes in there, and then I recently tried putting like sliced or diced carrots into the eggs, and it created this very sweet flavor that I really enjoyed. So I did that for dinner and it was good. And then I had some like sauteed green cabbage, I think. Yes, and it was delicious. But anyway, I did a little bit of reading before bed, and I got to page 100 of Anathema. And so far, initial impressions is that it's a very intriguing world. It's definitely very dark, darker than I expected. I was feeling a bit uneasy reading certain parts of it because it was a bit too dark. But we are following this girl. It's like a dual POV, I think. And we're following the main female protagonist. Her name is Mavis. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. She's like discriminated against by the other people in her community. And this town, they lived near this like witchy woods called the Witch Nell, and they fear this forest, because they believe that there's a witch living in there, some creatures, some monsters living in there. And in fact, people have gone missing because of this forest. Her family, although it's not really a family, she was adopted into the family. So she showed up at the edge of the woods someday with a black rose, and nobody knows who her family was, but really it's just her and her sister. The grandmother was just an absolute asshole. I don't like that woman. She's so sexist, misogynist, cruel, evil, malicious. The other people in town don't like her, and so she's always an outsider. There's rumor that she's a witch and she's like possessed and that she needs to be exiled, so nobody wants to marry her. And in this town there are two ways that you could go down as a woman. You can either marry, or you can swore to this red god that they worshipped, and to do so you would have to cut your own tongues, or like somebody cut your own tongue, because it's like an oath of silence, which is absolutely ridiculous. So there's two ways you can do that. Or the third way is that you get banished into the woods, and that means that you're gonna die. So she's like having to pick and choose between these three choices. A, nobody marries her. B, she doesn't want to have her own tongue cut out, and she doesn't even believe in this god. And so that leaves her with like the last choice, which is being banished. But the people who are banished, they undergo this very dehumanizing ritual where they're like stripped naked and they're like tortured, punished before they're like thrown into this woods. That's a very dehumanizing act, right? She also doesn't want to do that. So like that leaves her with like running away. But running away means that she leaves her sister behind. And then we follow the main male character as well. His name is Evander. And the book opened with a scene about him being cursed, touched with this like sable fire. Whenever somebody else touches this sable fire, it turns them into ash. But him, after he touched the fire, nothing happened. There's just this very horrible looking scar. We follow him around. He's apparently this like assassin of the king, and so he goes around and he kills people the king wants him to kill, but he's also on this quest to try to figure out how to abandon and just completely eliminate this like sable fire in his body, because he's cursed with that sable fire and he doesn't want that. It basically possesses him, and sometimes he also cannot control it to the point that it kills the people around him, so he doesn't want that. What he needs to do to completely abolish this fire is that he has to collect, I think, 1 stone for each race of this world, and there are 7 races, and he collects like 6 of them already, or 5 of them, and so he has 1 left. And to do so, he has to cross over this boundary that's like forbidden. Like nobody's allowed to cross that boundary to go to the other side, and apparently it's hinted that the other side is the mortal realm. And so I think that this boundary is actually where the force lies. So I think when people are like sucked into it, or people are thrown into the woods, they either die there or they're like brought to the other realm, like with the magic, different beings. I'm very intrigued. It's very easy to read, but I think I'm gonna call it off for tonight. It's like 10:30 now, so we're gonna go to sleep, and then I'll catch you tomorrow morning. We do have a lot of work to do tomorrow, so I'm hoping that I will hold myself accountable and actually just do work and not just sit there and read for the entire day. I also need to finish editing the video for your YouTube channel, and that's going up tomorrow, so I need to work on the thumbnail, edit the video, pick a soundtrack, work on the title, description, everything, and also do some interview prep, because I have an interview coming up on Friday, and it's like my first interview ever since like 2 years ago, so I'm a bit worried, so we need to be extra prepared for that. Hi guys, it's time to make dinner. So we're making battered fish now. So I'm using the remaining cod, and I'm whipping up some eggs. And so I'm thinking of dipping the cod into the egg. So here's the cod. Dipping the cod into the eggs, and then I have flour over here, trying to make a kind of a fish and chips type situation, but I don't have any chips. And then I was thinking of, with the remaining eggs and then flour, I'm gonna mix them together, and I'm gonna pour some pancakes style situation. My mom's used to always do that whenever she's like frying something with the leftover ingredients. She always does that. So I'm gonna do that as well. I'm also watching, I found this new like podcast situation, and I'm watching these 2 people. It's called a Wild Library Book Club. This is the first episode, and they're kind of reacting to Wild Love by Elsie Silver, and this is like from chapter 1 to chapter 10. And I was like, that's so interesting. I have never read any book by Elsie Silver before, so I'm in for a treat. So fish. Oh, that's a very big piece of fish. That's a big fat piece of fish. It's falling apart. I'm gonna try this. I don't know how this is gonna go, because the last time, and then I have the flour over here. Because the last time I was like pan frying this fish, it was not working because it was like falling apart. This is like cooking episode. I'm not a cook. I don't cook. Usually when I was back home, I don't cook. So when coming to the US, this is, oh God, how are we gonna do? This is like me learning how to cook. So hopefully it's all coated and it doesn't, oh, I don't like the touch of that. It's not sticking. I don't know. I'm like regretting my decision to buy cod because I don't know how to cook cod. My dining hall at my college, they serve cod from time to time. And so because of that, I assumed that it was like easy to cook, but I now know that this is such a delicate piece of seafood. Okay, I think that's good. Should I dip it another time? I can try. I've never done this before. So this is the dipped piece of fish. I think I'm gonna regret this, but here we go. So this is the second dip. Oh, the eggs are so cold. Second dip. Oh, I don't like how that feels on my hand. So if any of you in the comment section knows how to cook cod, let me know, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going off of basic things that I've done, because when I had chicken for the first batch, I was like doing this, and then I fried the chicken and it turned out pretty good. It's gonna be like very crispy if everything goes right, which I think it does. I hope it does. So that's how my hands look like. We're gonna go wash the hands. Oh, it's kind of dark. This is how a piece of fish look like right now. So I'm gonna heat up the pan. I'm not gonna deep fry it. I don't like to use a lot of like oil. And then I'm gonna mix the remaining flour with the eggs, and I'm gonna put some water in. And it's gonna make like a batter like situation, consistency, and then I'm gonna fry that. Hopefully it turns out okay. I think it will. This is all experimenting, guys. Cooking is all about learning as you go. So that's what I'm doing. If this goes right, I now know a different way to cook cod. If it doesn't, then it's only me eating, so it's fine. It's fine. This is what I'm talking about. So this is the fish. It is still very delicate. It feels like a tofu in my personal opinion, but this is what I'm talking about. With like the pancake situation, I have 2 more in the pans, and I just flipped, I think, both of them, and I'm waiting for them to be a little more crisp and a little more golden, and so I think this could make another one. So I think that should be good. So this is the situation we're talking about. I know it looks very weird, but trust me, it's so delicious. And then I have chili sauce. I'm gonna dip that in there. Enjoy the feast. So the boiled broccoli over here, and then I'm gonna put on some good show, and then I'm gonna watch. But I think that's it. Hope you are also cooking up some dinner and taking care of yourself, and we could eat some good food together. Okay, I'll go now, and I'll see you soon. It's the next day, and I spent most of the day just practicing for my interview tomorrow. And who would have told me that interviewing is so hard? Like, I spent 2 days ago, I think, kind of thinking about the questions that are going to be asked. And I had a couple, and then I asked ChatGPT to help me come up with questions that might be asked. And it's my first time spending that much time practicing for an interview, because I never took interview that serious before, which might have been my fault. But who would have told me that it's so hard? Knowing what to answer is one thing, but how you answer that question in a way that's both authentic to you, but also kind of relevant to the jobs and the company and the roles that you're interviewing for is even more important. I think I'm slowly learning that. So that's what I've been doing for the entire day. I also designed a post for my TikTok, and then I just spent the last hour reading Anathema. I'm on page 284. I'm thinking of getting to page 400 tonight, and then I want to finish this book before I go to the library on Saturday. I'm not sure. I might go to the library tomorrow and return the other book. The rest of the day, I'm gonna go read, and then tonight we're having hot pot, which I'm so excited. I have some like fish balls and sausages that I want to put into my hot pot, and I also was thinking of going to the gym today, but then it's like freezing outside. It snowed yesterday, so it's like freezing outside, and I was also like so occupied with my interview that I was like, I'm not going to work out today. Maybe tomorrow, maybe after tomorrow, I have the like mental inspiration to do so. I had my period a couple of days ago, and so like my skin has been breaking out around like the chin area, and that's so annoying. I don't like whenever my skin breaks out, especially in the hormonal acne area. It's very painful, and that also means I cannot do lymphatic drainage. In terms of lymphatic drainage, I showed you my routine. I have been so fixated on improving the shape of my face. I have a lot of fat and skin on my face. And I noticed that because I have a lot of skin on my face, if I'm not massaging it and kind of dragging it up, it droops and it looks very puffy and, I don't know, saggy. So those are some of the things that I've been thinking about, and just like glow up tips in general. Like after the breakup, I've been so fixated on just like taking care of myself, which why didn't I just do this sooner? You know, I could make this entire video later. After that relationship, I realized that if you want a man to treat you the way that you want to be treated, the biggest thing that you should do is decentering men. I have always heard other people mention that, but I didn't understand what it specifically meant. I feel like it's best that I stay single now. And for those of you who also just got out of a breakup, I feel like you also should spend at least a year of just being single. Throughout that year, spending time getting to know yourself. Because I truly believe that it ended for a reason. Everything happens to teach you a lesson. If like a relationship doesn't end, it teaches you that things are going well and you should keep doing that. If it ends, it teaches you that you're doing something wrong and you need to change that, or else you're gonna go through the same process again. Because the universe is gonna make sure that you suffer again and again and again, over and over again, until you learn the lesson and you change the pattern. If people, after their breakup, if they start dating again straight immediately after their breakup without spending time with themselves to ask, where did I go wrong? What did I do that caused the relationship to fall apart? And I understand, sometimes it's like infidelity, sometimes it's like the other partner's fault, you know? But I feel like it's also your fault to an extent. For me, it was tolerating, making excuses for him, trying to explain the situation for him even before he explained it for himself. It was centering the relationship above everything else. It was very interesting. Now looking back, before going into the relationship, I was such a selfish person. And I'm saying that with utmost positivity. I was the type of person before everything happened. I was the type of person who would care only for myself and who would prioritize my well-being, my peace, my development, my personal development and growth above everything else. That's because I truly believe that if I want to take care of people, I have to be well first. At the beginning stage of the relationship, I still held that belief, but somehow, as time went on, I completely lost myself. It's such a subtle process that I didn't even realize. And by the time that I realized it, I was like, oopsie, I lost myself. Like, I kid you not, I lost a part of myself that was so critical and important to me. One of the things that I lost was the ability to speak whenever I want to speak. So like to speak my mind, to voice my thoughts, and to say things for what they are. What I did was I would dim myself. I wouldn't allow myself to speak everything that comes to my mind, which is very rare because I'm a very outspoken person. My parents know this, my friends know this. If I think something's wrong, I will voice it. But somehow I suppressed it, thinking that I'm the problem, because every single time that I brought something up, we would end up fighting. Because of that, as time went on, I was like, oh, it's not a big deal. You know, I'm overreacting. I should have said that. And at first I was like, those are reasonable thoughts. And I truly believe that compromising is necessary in romantic and partnerships in general, right? We all have to sacrifice something and compromise something. So that's what I thought I was doing at the beginning. I was compromising. But the problem started to arise because my partner did not think the same way that I did. They were more of a keeping things the same but stable. But it also means that they're so focused on trying to sustain this homeostasis that they never noticed anything. They never noticed any unusual patterns, any red flags, anything that makes them go like, oh, we need to talk about that, you know? And I don't like that. If we just cannot talk and discuss and know how to work around conflict and disagreements, because we are gonna have disagreements, what's the entire point of being in a relationship? What's the entire point in me spending time with somebody else? And the breaking point to me was when I was reflecting back on how my parents treated me, and I'm gonna be holding this so high from now on, and this is gonna be my anchor point whenever I'm gonna be in a relationship, kind of evaluating a relationship to see if it's like worth continuing or not. I'm always gonna have my parents as a standard, even though my parents have their own flaws and they're not a very articulate, very well-spoken people themselves. They also have moments where they let their emotions get the better of them, but they never, and I say never in a million years, would they treat me the same way that my ex-partner treated me. And I'm not saying this to mean that they are or they were a bad person. No, they are a good person, but they're not a good partner. And those are two different things. You could be a good person, but you're not ready for a committed relationship where you have to learn to grow and solve problems with another person from a completely different background. All of that to say, sorry, I mentioned that this is gonna be a separate episode, but I'm just in a mood to yap. All of that to say, you have to learn what your values are. And you have to believe in your values so strongly, and you also have to be willing to stand your ground and stay rooted in your boundaries. And that's something that I haven't learned to do. For the next year, or however long until I meet my person, I'm gonna stay that way because my parents never pressure me to do anything. They're supportive, even if my dreams are just crazy. That's where I'm at in terms of relationship. Enough of yapping. What time is it? It's 4 already. I'm gonna go take my apple cider vinegar. That's like one of the things that I've been doing to help lose fat. Okay guys, I just finished my interview. I think it went very well. I had such a good time talking with the interviewer, and it didn't even feel like an interview. I feel like I was talking to one of my close professor. We were having so much fun, I thought, at least on my part. And the interview it was said that the interview is gonna last like 30 minutes, and guess how much time actually did it take? An hour and a half, which I think it's a good sign. And he mentioned this openly, like we had a great rapport, like we had a great conversation. I actually learned so much about immunology because I was interviewing for a lab research position. And okay, maybe this is like a meant to be moment that I was having during the interview, was because like everything that he mentioned, everything that he spoke about, I was able to follow. Obviously, at least not to the degree that he had, because he's the expert, right? But I resonated with him, and I was able to follow his logic and follow his argument when it was talking about like B cells and T cells. And then he was kind of quizzing me a little bit. That's why I mentioned that it's like a professor talking with me. He was quizzing me a little bit, saying that, okay, if it's like a T cell, what receptors are we expecting? If it's like a B cell, what receptor are we expecting? He mentioned regulatory T cells, and I made 2 presentations on regulatory T cells for my senior seminar, and Treg cells, or regulatory T cells, but I call them Tregs. I have such a unique obsession with them. They're amazing. Like, I love them. Like, I like working with them. I like researching about them. They're fascinating to me. They're just such an important part of the immune system. Like, for those of you who don't know, Treg cells are the T cells who basically is like the master regulator of the entire immune system. It helps activate other white blood cells, other lymphocytes, and things like that. And recently in 2025, we had a Nobel Prize dedicated to the discovery of FOXP3 and Treg cells in general. So that's like such a huge thing. And I had such an obsession with them. And so when he talked about that, and we were having a bit of a kind of discussion about what he did, his research, what he's the most proud of in terms of his project, I was so intrigued. We started talking when my laptop was about like 70%, and now it's charging. So I think it's such a good interview, and I truly enjoy talking to him, and I think I'm gonna enjoy working with him as well. But that's what I've been doing for the last hour and a half. The rest of the day, I think I'm gonna go apply to jobs, do a bit more research on like the salary, learn how to negotiate salary, the benefits. I need to do some research on like what the full package like includes, like vacation. I don't know what PTO is, but people have been mentioning that. Everything is new to me, but it's fine. We're here to learn, right? And I thrive on curiosity. So I'm gonna do that. And I think that's it for the rest of the day. I was thinking of like working out, but it's snowing. I do want to read. I want to finish Anathema today. I need to film like the 50% update for my TikTok that I'm filming. But I got to page 364. I think I could finish this book today. I have about like 150, no, I have like 250 pages left or something, like 600 page. This is like a 600 page book. I'll let you go and we are gonna talk if I have any updates later. Okay, so this is the dinner. I just finished making it. It took 45 minutes to an hour, but this is some sort of like noodle. I don't know what it's called in English, but it's like this like transparent noodle looking thing. And then I have bell pepper, some pork, eggs that I stir fried, and then also cabbage that's like kind of shredded like this one. And then I don't season it a lot. It's just some soy sauce. And then I have some extra soy sauce over here if I need some extra bit of flavor. And that's the dinner for tonight and also for tomorrow or the next day, because I made a portion enough for 2 meals. Okay, so that's the dinner. I'm gonna go eat this. I'm gonna put on some fun show, and then we're gonna have dinner. Okay. I also hope that you're also having dinner as well, and then taking care of yourself and cooking some good food and eating some good food if you can. And I think I'm gonna see you later tonight for my skincare routine. Good evening, everybody. I just finished showering and I'm about to do my skincare routine, and I thought I would show you what I usually do on a weekly basis and the routine that I've been following for the past couple of months. Today is retinol day, but as always, I'm gonna go in with this thermal spray. My skin still cannot tolerate retinol directly on skin before everything else, so I usually have to put on a toner of some sort before I could put on my retinol. The toner that I use is the Skin 1004, this like pink ampule, and I really like this. It's very moisturizing, it's very soothing. It doesn't break me out, it doesn't flare up my fungal acne. It also is supposed to help with minimizing your pores. So this combo with the retinol that I use has improved or at least shrink my pore size by at least 20% after using for like the last 3 or something months. One of the biggest tips that I always mention for people who just start doing retinol is you want your skin to be completely dry. If you're first starting out with retinol, or you're returning to retinol after a long period of time of not using retinol, less is more, truly. In terms of the frequency, in terms of how much retinol you're using. I am testing out this particular, it's called retinol, so it's not really a retinol. So this is even more potent than the normal retinol that you see, but it's just not as potent as the retinoid. This is from Celimax, and this is their retinol shot. And this is supposed to tighten your skin, and this has 0.1% retinol with 1% panthenol, which is supposed to soothe your skin and help with moisture. And then something called Matrixol 3,003%, I think that's like trademarked by Celimax. And so this is what I've been using for the past, this is like my third tube. I'm about to order my 4th tube. When I first started out, the first month and a half, it was once a week. Usually on Tuesday. Throughout the day, I wear sunscreen every single day. The purging period was pretty bad, but not as bad as I was expecting, because most of it was tiny bumps and breaking out mostly around the chin area. Like chin and the mouth area, that's the most clogged area, so that's why I was assuming that it was purging the most. After a month and a half of purging out, or close to it, my skin was super stable. And by that I mean very clear, very bright. The hyperpigmentation went down completely. I noticed that if I'm using this retinol, then the next morning, I woke up with very calm skin. It's even better at calming down my skin than the azelaic acid serum. I recently bumped it to twice a week, and I had a 2-day break in between of each usage. So today is Thursday. This is my second time using this in this week. Wednesday is always going to be my break. So Wednesday and now Saturday as well. So always after using the retinol or any type of strong treatment, I put on a mask. Wait, I'm going to show you how it comes out. So it's going to come out kind of yellow like that. And I usually put on a pea-size amount like that. Hopefully you can see it. It's like a yellow. I'm gonna kind of do like this, go like this, and then I kind of dabble across my face. And this is like my second time, so the amount that I use is less than the first time. After putting it on and then spreading it out, I'm gonna leave this on my face. I'm gonna let it sink in for the next 15 minutes. I started doing that now, and I think it helps a lot with the absorption of the retinol. I'm gonna go in with my moisturizer now. I have oily skin, and I know that some people, they say that if you're using retinol or just any retinol, then your skin could be dry. I don't have any problem with this particular retinol that I'm using. My skin was not dry. It was kind of dry, but only in the nose, around the nose area, but everywhere else was not dry. And so because I was able to use this gel cream, even though it's very, very light, but what I do is I put on multiple layers of this thing. This is the Purito Oat Calming Gel. This doesn't break me out. This doesn't flare my fungal acne. Whatever moisturizer you're having, making sure it's soothing. Your moisturizer should be very simple. It shouldn't have any other like active or added layer of benefit, because the retinol is doing everything possible. You don't want to stress your skin out. And this is something that I learned over the years. When I started out my skincare routine, I used to pile literally my skin with products. And although that could work for some people, and you know, the 17 different step skincare routine for some people, my skin never was like that. My skin thrives on routine and simplicity. My routine now looks very, very complex to you, but this is like a 1 year build up tolerance to the position that I am today. So if you're like a complete beginner, I would recommend you starting out with the azelaic acid serum first, which is this one. It took me at least 3 months before my skin was stable with that. This moisturizer absorbs very well into your skin. So after a while, it's gonna sink in and you don't even know that it's there, or it doesn't feel like it's there. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I keep just feeling like I have to reapply it. But anyhow, I think I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go read. I'm trying to finish Anathema tonight. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do it. I still have like 180 pages left. Good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.